many years ago, I went up to the mountain in Manali, in one of our mission church, and with me, I went up with our Bishop Ricardo. So at that time, si Pastor Dean ang tawag sa akin. Ako si Brother June. So we went up to Manali. He's going to give a seminar on the baptism of the Holy Spirit. So when we went up to the mountain, we were staying in a house. At that time, wala pa kuryente. And so we had to eat our dinner at 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Alas 5, dinner na kami. Then by 6 o'clock, 6:30, nakahiga na kami. We were given a room. Dinagyan kami ng banig. Ang floor is kawayan. And we lie down there. And dalawa lang kami sa kwarto. And I asked him, should I close the windows sa sarado ko kayo bintana? Kasi baka malamig. And he said, no. Huwag mo saradong bintana. Mainit na eh. So, hindi ko sinarado yung bintana. And kinuha ko yung jacket niya. Kinuha ko yung jogging pants niya. And medyas niya. Sabi ko, Pastor, baka mamayang gabi malamig. Kailangan ako. Kaya sanay ako sa lamig. So naka-t-shirt lang siya and he was wearing his short pants. So nilagay ko lang yung jacket niya, yung jogging pants niya, at medyas niya. Sabi ko, I'll put it here sa tabi mo. Just in case you need it. Sabi niya, I will not be needing that. So, kinuha ko yung kumot. Pero kaming kumot, sabi ko, Pastor, baka mamaya kailangan mo yung kumot. Ang sabi niya, I will not need that. So, natulog na kami. So, we slept. Pinatay ko na yung lamp namin and we slept. And around midnight, may gumigising sa akin. Brother John. Nagulang ako. I took my flashlight. Sa tabi ko yung flashlight. Ang pinashlight ko, nakita ko si Pastor Dick. Naka-jacket na siya. Okay? And he was wearing his jogging pants and naka-medyas na siya. Sabi niya, sana yung kumot kanina. And sabi niya, malamig pala. So sabi ko, dito yung kumot. So kumot siya. It's really cool. Today we're going to talk about wisdom. But not just any kind of wisdom. The Bible calls it prudence. Prudence is wisdom in practice, or some call it practical wisdom. Amen? When the Bible talks about prudence, it talks about practical wisdom, or what our mothers would always say, use your common sense. Yan ang prudence. And that kind of wisdom is based on foresight. Okay? It is based on things that is still ahead of you. Hindi mo pa nararanasan ngayon, but you are already thinking way ahead. That's foresight. And having that foresight is the basis of practical wisdom. Okay? In our gospel today, it mentions the story of the 10 virgins. 5 were foolish, 5 were wise. Talks about the lamp, the oil, but the Bible does not talk literally about those things. It talks about wisdom. Having that preparedness based on your foresight of things that may happen in the future. That is what we call prudence. Prudence will always make us ready and prepared. Okay? When we exercise prudence, the result of that is preparedness and readiness always in our life. Just before our bishop passed away, I asked him a question which really bothers me in my mind. So sometimes, yung mga tanong ko sa kanya, these are crazy thoughts. You know? That's why yung tawag niya sa akin, crazy Monday. Okay, because I have crazy thoughts. And I asked him one time, sabi ko, Bishop, you're always going out, you're always traveling, and he has to travel because that is his work as a Friday. And I asked him one question. I said, what if one day, when you go abroad, and suddenly it is announced worldwide that we cannot go to church anymore? What if one day magigising tayo and lahat ng pupunta sa simbahan babarilin? What if one day we wake up and you're not allowed to gather to pray anymore? What if one day we cannot come back to church anymore and we have to hide? And I asked the bishop, what will I do? How will we communicate? And the bishop said to me, when the time comes, Father Jun, we will not be able to talk and communicate anymore. And I asked him, what will I do then? Pag hindi na tayo pwede mag-usap and I cannot reach you anymore, what will I do? And this is what he said to me. This is something in the future he said to me. When the time comes, you will know what to do. Because the Holy Spirit Himself will tell you at that time. But in the meantime, habang wala pa tayo doon, continue to do what you know you already have to do.
That's right.
Amen?
Amen.
When the day comes, sabi niya, you will know. When the day of adversity comes into your life, when the day of crisis comes into your life, yung mga binuwori natin ngayon, what if I don't have this? What if I don't have much money? How will I send my children to school? When that day comes, you will know what to do. Because the Spirit Himself will tell you what to do. But in the meantime, wala pa tayo doon, continue with what you know that you should be doing now. Continue doing it. Training your mind, training your heart, inclining your life to obey God every day in your life. We struggle with obedience, many of us. I am one of you. I struggle with obedience. But every day I try. I incline my heart to obey God. We train ourselves. Why? So that when that day comes, we will know what to do. And just a few months later, may nangyari na sa atin sa simbahan. The day he passed away, I was here in church, and I did not know what to do the following day. I did not know what to do the days that will follow. Hindi ko talaga alam ganun. So I was here praying, nandito yung picture niya. His urn was here, and I was looking at him. And I said to him, what do I do now? And of course, nakita ko yung picture niya, nakasmile talaga. And he was smiling at me, and I said, what will I do now? Then I remember those words. When the day comes, you will know what to do. And I did. And it's because we have prepared for this. Now today, church, we ask the same question. What do we do now? We are faced up with a pandemic. We are faced up with sunod-sunod na bagyo. And all of us, it seems like we don't know what to do now. Economies are failing around us. There are wars and rumors of wars. Whatever happens to the election in the U.S., it will affect also our nation as a result of that election. So we do not know what to do now. Praise be to God. When the day comes of trouble, we will know what to do. How? I will tell you how. For many years, our bishop was teaching us, many years. Since day one, Sapsta, Liberty Theater, he was teaching us lessons from the Bible. And those teachings that we have heard and we have received from Him, those are the words that we need to ponder and think about, because what He was doing all those years teaching us, He was preparing the church. I was listening to one of the priests today. He was telling some of the deacons, sabi niya, nung nagkaroon ng pandemic na ito, naglinis daw siya sa bahay niya, and he came across his notes sa mga teaching pa ni Pastor Dick, and he started to read them. Nandito pa lahat yung kailangan ko. Everything we need to learn is already been given to us by our God. I would suggest, if you would have time, try to dig up your notes. Yung media ministry natin, I think they're going to go through his teachings in the past, and they're going to start bringing it out sa internet. And we can review those things, because I believe the wisdom that we need for our times has already been passed on to us. All these years He was teaching us. It was a preparation for us to face the challenges that lies before us. That is prudence. That is wisdom that we do not produce in ourselves. It is a wisdom that God gives to us. Start learning and start doing now what you know you have to do. I go back to the gospel today, and I will read some of the portions here. It says here that there were 10 virgins. Actually, these are bridesmaids. Mga bridesmaids ito. 10. And their responsibility is to wait for the bridegroom, because the bridegroom is somewhere outside. Okay? They are discussing the terms of the marriage. Noong unang panahon, pag kinakasal ang tao, you don't just base it on your feelings. There are preparations to be made. And so the bridegroom is with the bride's parents outside, or maybe in his own home. They are discussing the terms of marriage. How much do I need to give to take your daughter as my wife? Ganon ka, hindi pag pinasal ang tao mo, you have to make preparations. Ngayon, hindi na masyado, no? Tinignan mo kayo, ganyan lang mata ng okay na. No? Kasal na yan. Unang panahon, you have to work for it, you have to have money for it. And so yung ginawa ng bridegroom, he was transacting how much dowry he's going to pay the parents of the bride. So while he is out, the bride is in her home waiting, hoping na sana matuloy yung kasal. And so what does the bride do? She sends her bridesmaids outside and they'll wait for the bridegroom. So kung ma-delay man ang transaction nila, even if it comes at night, itutuloy pa rin yung kasal. You provide the light for his past, so that when he comes home back to you. So yun ang trabaho ng 10 virgins. They are given a task. Okay? It is a very important responsibility. So when they went outside to wait for the bridegroom, some had foresight based on their experience already. Some of them already know na minsan yung mga transaction na yan between the groom and the parents, sometimes it takes a little while. So anong ginawa ng 5 of them bought extra oil. Just in case ma-delay ang transaction, they will have extra oil with them. That will last them all throughout the night until morning, kailaw. The others were not so concerned with this. The others were just thinking, tutuloy yan, kaya pa. And I look into the scriptures today, it says there that both the foolish and the wise, those who have prepared extra oil, when they went outside and they waited for the bridegroom to come. And it says here, the bridegroom was a long time in coming, and they all became drowsy and fell asleep. Sino nakatulog while they were waiting for the bridegroom? Was it the foolish ones only? Louder. Sino nakatulog? Everybody slept, even the wise. Because there comes a time in our life that we all would sleep and would forget. It is a reality. The wise and the foolish, while they were waiting for the bridegroom, and the bridegroom was a long time in coming. Sobrang tagal ng bridegroom, nakatulog sila lahat, both the wise and the foolish, because it comes to us in our life. We fall asleep sometimes. We come into problems sometimes that we are not aware of. Hindi natin inaasahan nangyari. Kahit na gaano tayo ka-wise. And it says here, at midnight, the cry went out, here's the bridegroom, come out to meet him. Merong warning, maggumising sa lahat. You see, in our life, we have wake-up calls, right? Something happens in your life and you say, it's a wake-up call for me. When that wake-up call comes, that is where the difference between the foolish and the wise comes in. Because when they all wake up, 5 were not prepared. The 5 wise and prudent girls, they were prepared. Why? While they were sleeping, they already prepared the extra oil for them. Amen? They had the extra. So when they woke up, they all trimmed their lamps, and the wise ones started to put oil. And the ones who did not bring extra oil, they said, give some to us. Bigyan mo kami. We did not prepare for this. We are not ready for this. So give us some oil. What happened? The wise ones said, no, they replied. There may not be enough for both of us and you. Instead, go to those who sell oil and buy some for yourselves. What did they say to the foolish ones? What did the wise girls say to the foolish ones? They said, no. In wisdom, sometimes we have to learn to say no. Amen? If we are going to practice wisdom, sometimes you have to say no. And minsan na tayo nadadali kasi hindi tayo marunong magsabi ng no. Sige na. You have to say no. When you know what is expected of you, when you understand what your task is, then you will also know what are the other things that you do not need to do. So when someone invites you to do it, you say no, like that again. Amen? So let us start training, let us start preparing ourselves to say no. I have said no to so many things in my life this past few weeks that has happened here inside the church. Ang daming mga bagay na kailangan natin sabihin no. Not anymore. That is wisdom. And so they said, no, we're not going to give you oil. You go, buy yourself some oil, come back here as soon as possible. And they left. Umalis kagad sila. The 5 foolish ones who did not have extra oil, they left. And sure enough, after they left, the bridegroom arrived. You know, it really pays to be prepared all the time. It really pays to be ready all the time. And so what happened when the 5 foolish ones left? The bridegroom arrived, and the bridegroom said, the marriage is already done. Ayan, now let's now proceed to the feast. Let us now celebrate the marriage. And so when the bridegroom arrived, the wise girls, virgins, they were having their oils lighted, their lamps lighted, and they provided the light for the bridegroom. And they entered that place and they had a grand celebration. But take note, while they were having that celebration, they locked the doors. So when the foolish virgins arrived, na-notice nila, nag-uumpisa na yung celebration, they started to knock. Lord, Lord, we are here, let us come in. And the bridegroom responded. What did he say? He said, I tell you the truth, I don't know you. Now, totoo ba yan? Hindi niya kilala. Sila nag-assign mo. He knows that. But that word means, I don't want to have anything with you anymore. Sa sobrang galit, nilak yung pinto, at yan ang sinasabi niya, I don't know you, please say, do not come in anymore. You are not welcome here anymore. You see, we have opportunities in our life every day. Opportunities to be a blessing, opportunities to be a blessing not only to other people, but an opportunity every day to be a blessing to God and to His church. Do not allow that opportunity to pass you by, because one day those doors might close. And no matter how hard you try to be a blessing to the church and to anyone else, you will not have the opportunity. That's why every day we wake up, what do we say every day? I am blessed to be a blessing. And when you say that, I see doors open for us to be a blessing that day. So do not miss the opportunity. Be prepared and be always ready. And finally, it says here, the moral of the parable, the moral of the story is this: therefore keep watch, because you do not know the day or the hour. How do we practice wisdom? By looking forward ahead. How do we look forward? This is where the future of our lives rests. The more you look at this, you will see what is ahead in your life. The more you look at the scriptures every day when you read the Bible, don't just read it for the sake of reading it. I have one person in Antique, sabi niya, I read the Bible, di ba, sa gabaan kita. Magkabasa ng Bible, hadlong gabaan. No, you read the Bible because this is where our future lies. Everything that will happen in our life in the future is already here. And the more you look into the Word of God, you will have a foresight of things to come. Not only in your life, but in your family, in your business, and most especially in our community here in St. Michael's Cathedral. And so we look into the Word every day. Every day. Sabi nga ni Bishop, hindi pa natin alam kung anong problema in the future, but do what we need to do. And what we need to do today is already given here. It's already here. The instructions are already here. So how do we gain that foresight? How do we have that prudence, that wisdom, practical wisdom, to make us ready and prepared all the time for the things that will happen in our life? Take what Jesus Christ said in the last part of the gospel. Watch, for you do not know the day or the hour. Now take the word watch. What is it trying to say us, to tell us? To watch means to be aware. To watch means to be awake every day. Gising tayo. And every day, this is what wakes us up every day. Dito tayo nagigising. To be aware and to be watchful, it means that our mind should always be set in. Father Jun, dami ko kasi iniisip, parang tayo, but you have to purposely focus and set your mind to look at the Word. Amen?
Amen.
Nakahimik nyo. Nako, Huwag mo nakatulog. We will sleep together after the Mass. Magsabay tayo. We have to be awake. We have to be alert. You know, there are 3,000 thoughts that comes into your mind every day. Can you imagine that? You have 3,000 thoughts. Your mind is a powerful gift that God has given you. Your mind can process 3,000 thoughts in one day. Can you imagine? Parang computer yung mind mo. It can process, it can retain, it can absorb 3,000 thoughts a day. For some of us, meron iba sa atin 5,000. Kaya I ask the young people natin, mga boys, na tanong nasa isip nyo. Tatawanan sila, they smile. And I know what's in their mind. Their mind is full of the 10 virgins. Okay? Alam ko yung iniisip nila. And maybe sa mga iniisip nila, siguro 2,000 noon, doon lang sa 10 virgins. Okay? You see, if our minds can process 3,000 thoughts every day, how much of those thoughts come from you? Amen? That's why if we are not watchful, if we are not careful, we will not be prepared every day. Some people, they face a problem, it is as if hindi talaga nila alam kung ano mangyayari sa kanila. We have to put our mind, be awake, be watchful yung advice ni Jesus. After saying the parable, after telling them about the 10 virgins, what happened to them, at the last part of the gospel, he said, watch. Yan ang moral ng story niya. Watch. Watch is means to keep guard your mind what you're thinking every day. Because what you think every day, the majority of the thoughts that come into your mind, it sinks into your heart. And whatever enters into your heart, that will shape your life. And what shapes your life will now determine what is your destiny. And so we keep on looking at the Word of God. I look at my notes in the past, tinitingnan ko ang dami kong mga notes kay Pastor. Some of the best things na nakikita ko na kailangan ko talaga. Nasa Bible mismo, naka-insert yung mga sa papel. Try to look at your own Bible. Sige sa inyo yung mga own Bible na hindi na binabasa. Okay, today, go back, review them, and look at the papers inside. Kasi minsan maraming notes yan. Ang problema sa notes, pag nagawa tayo ng notes, pag sarado ng Bible, hindi naman binabasa ang Bible, yung notes nakakalimutan na rin. And many of the problems we are facing now, the solution are already on those notes. Our bishop has already prepared us, given us those notes. My dear brothers and sisters, I appeal to you today. We have so much work to do in the church. Amen?
Amen.
All of us here who worships God here, we are all servants of the Lord. You cannot come here if you are not serving God. We are all servants of the Lord. And in serving God, He has called us to serve our community, St. Michael's Church. And there are so many things that need to be done. Every day I would pray and I would sit down. My heart would like to explode. Why? Because of the many tasks that is ahead of us. So what will we do? What can we do? Start with this. When you go home today, get your Bibles. Sa hapon wala tayong misa, try to get your Bibles. Hindi naman kayo pwede magpasyal. May quarantine na iba. There are places quarantine you cannot go there, and besides, you're having a bad weather. Get your Bibles today and start looking at the things that God would like us. Fill your mind today with His thoughts, and tomorrow you do it again, and the day after that you do it again, and every day you do it, and do it all the time until the day comes you are ready. And the task that is so big and so great ahead of you, you will be surprised how you are going to accomplish those tasks in your life. My goal in life is one day I could go back to the Lord and I would hear Him say, "Well done, good and faithful servant." That is the only goal I have in life. So try to be faithful. Try to put your mind on this. Amen. Let's all stand.